Ladies and gentlemen of the Action Army, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of Answers for Athletes. In today's video, we have a question from Kayla Nyack, 5057, who says, how to train in season for hoopers. I actually thought that I made a ton of videos on this, but it turns out that all of the videos that I have ever made on this topic are on my main channel, and I have never made any for this Answers for Athletes channel. So today, I'm going to give you the 10 commandments of in-season bounce, how to be jumping higher at the end of season than you were at the beginning of the season. It is really, really hard. It is really, really tricky. However, you can at least maintain your bounce. Most athletes lose their bounce. Their coaches run them into the ground. Their energy demands, all the activity, the high volume of sport just crushes their soul and their bounce. So I'm going to, with the help of these 10 commandments, I'm going to show you how to at least maintain and hopefully increase your bounce in season. It is possible. But before I do that, make sure that you comment JUMP, J-U-M-P, down below in the comment section for a free bodyweight vertical jump training program. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your question down below if you want me to answer your question in a video just like this. Side note, very quickly, I have a cut on my tongue, and it hurts when I speak. So if I sound funny or I'm messing up my words, actually, if all of this information that I give you today sucks, I blame the cut on my tongue. So don't blame me. It's not my fault. Anyways, here we go. And very quickly, I am going to put chapters so that you can skip through the video if you don't want to hear me yap. I don't like to edit these videos. I like to go straight through. I just like to post them on YouTube. But I will put chapters in this video because that would be really annoying to not have any chapters for 10 of these commandments. So here we go. Commandment number 1, train the qualities that you don't get from your sport. This is going to be different sport to sport. So I will talk to mainly basketball players because that's mainly who I coach. I coach a high school basketball team, but volleyball players, I'll give you a little bit too. So if you're playing basketball, what do we get? We get a ton of multi-directional work, ton of agility work, ton of unorganized plyometrics, ton of extensive plyometrics. What don't we get? We don't get a ton of organized max jumps. So we might want to add in, some seated box jumps or some depth jumps or some max approach jumps or some dunks. We don't get a ton of top end speed. We're definitely doing sprints, but we're not touching on that top end speed where you need longer distances. So we might add in a little bit of sprints. We're not getting any strength work from our sport. So we are going to want to add in strength work in our programming. So essentially, you want to do, like, if you ever hear a coach that says that you want your training to be sport specific and look exactly like your sport, run as fast as you can and as far away from that coach as you can. You do not need your training to look sport specific. You actually need the opposite. Whatever you're not getting from sport, you need to supplement with and work on in your training. So, and I am going to build on these, so I'll give you a lot more. But commandment number 1 is train the qualities that you do not get from your sport. Commandment number 2, I need you to do isometrics before every practice and every game. 3 sets, 3 to 5 sets of 45-second ISOs before every practice and every game if you have knee pain. If you don't have knee pain and you have never had knee pain, then you don't need to do this. One of my athletes that I coach online actually asked me this last night. He said, do you always do ISOs before every training session for every athlete, even if they didn't have knee pain? And the answer is no. So for my high school basketball team, we all do ISOs. We all do ISOs. But the athletes that I coach that don't play for my team, so I coach some athletes from other high schools, college guys, pro guys, if they don't have knee pain and they never have, then I don't do ISOs, right? We warm up through, other dynamic warm-ups, plyometric sequences, regressions of exercises, etc. But all of my guys in season who are on my high school team, we do isometrics before every single practice. And what we do is, for anybody who cares, we will do, in isometric. So actually we mix it with dynamic work or drills. So we might do a layup drill. So we do a drill where we do left hand layups only or offhand layups only. Most of them are left hand. And then after that, 45-second ISO, normally a wall sit or a lunge hold. Then we do the 5-man weave or the 3-man weave or 3-on-2, 2-on-1. And then we do an ISO. And then we do the pacer drill. Then we do an ISO. So we mix our ISOs in these drills. But commandment number 2 is if you have ever had knee pain or you have knee pain right now, especially tendinopathy, you have to be doing 3 to 5 sets of 45-second ISOs before every single practice and every single game. Commandment number 3, low volume, high intensity. This is going to be probably the most important point. Low volume, high intensity. So you're already getting tons of volume from your sport. This is not off season. Off season, when you're not playing as much sport, you can get more volume from your training. But when the volume is coming from your sport, you need to have less volume from your training. So low volume, high intensity. So 5 sets of 2 to 3 reps are going to be your best friend. 4 sets of 5 are going to be your best friend. So I'm actually going to make a video. I'll post a video tomorrow and I will give you a full in-season workout. I'll give you a week of workouts that you can do in season. But like 5 sets of 2 to 3 squats, 5 sets of 2 to 3 depth jumps, 5 sets of 2 to 3 seated box jumps. 4 sets of 5 I normally leave for post-chain work. So 4 sets of 5 RDLs, 4 sets of 5 calf raises. So commandment number 3, low volume, high intensity. I don't know why I'm so out of breath right now. Like, what is going on? I think I have to burp because I drink a carbonated drink and I'm trying not to burp because I'm trying to talk. And for some reason, maybe I'm just not in shape, bro. I'm so out of shape that I can't even do an Answers for Athletes video without losing my breath. Anyways, number 1, train the qualities that you don't get from sport. Number 2, ISOs before every game. Number 3, low volume, high intensity. Number 4, 20% plyos, 80% strength. This is huge. Why? Because basketball is already plyos. Very quickly, let me touch on something for volleyball players since I said I would and then I forgot. For number 1, train the qualities that you don't get from sport. Volleyball players let me just give you an example. I train a volleyball guy. He plays for the University of Southern California, train him online, and we hardly do any plyos. I just let him get his max jumps from sport, and then I add his strength work in his training. So that's a very good strategy. Get all your jumps from volleyball. We might add some stuff, might add some low-level extensive plyos, might add some sprints, might add some other plyos, but mainly it's just all jumps from volleyball and then adding in the strength work. Back to where we were, 20% plyos, 80% strength. So what you're going to do is essentially each workout you can get away with doing a warm-up, 1 max intensity plyometric, or 2, 1 to 2 max intensity plyos, then 3 to 4 strength exercises. So if you're going to do 3 strength exercises, hit a squat, a hinge, and a calf raise. And then if you're going to do a 4th one, you can add in, something maybe that you're weak on. You can add in some post chain. Normally post chain is going to be easier on the body than the anterior chain or knee dominant exercises are, especially in season. You could do some accessory work. You can do some like monster walks or some mini band walks or, and you can really fill in anything in there as long as it doesn't fatigue you too much. But 20% plyos, 80% strength is a good ratio. And this isn't exact. It's just you want way more strength work in season than plyos because you're already getting a ton of unorganized plyometrics from your sport if you're playing basketball. If you're playing another sport, never mind. Let me not. Yeah. Number 5. Commandment number 5. Progressive overload. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one because I have beat this one to death, but the way that your body changes is by you forcing it to change. You need to stimulate the organism in a way that forces adaptation. So do something that your body hasn't seen before. And the way that you do that is progressive overload. Do more weight, Don't do more reps because we're not getting higher volume. So do more weight, move the bar faster, sprint faster, jump higher, etc. Jump farther, etc. Number 6. This one's very important. Commandment number 6, combine windows of stress. This can be hard for a lot of people. I think I've gotten soft nowadays because if somebody used to say, I can't do that, I would just say you're soft. But I haven't gotten soft. I have just realized that everybody's life is different. But like we need to separate. Okay, let's do this. Just make sure that you're not making excuses. Okay, so if I were to say for my athletes that I coach on my high school team, combine your windows of stress, right? They might say, well, I can't work out before practice because we get out of school and then we have to go directly to practice. That's very true. But what about after practice? Everybody just goes home except me and one other kid. We go into the weight room, right? So we go into the weight room at 6 a.m. or the gym. Sometimes he goes in the gym. Sometimes he goes in the weight room. And then after practice, I go and I do another workout and he does another workout. Sometimes it's upper body after practice. Sometimes it's post chain after practice. Sometimes he lays around and scrolls on his phone after practice. I'm not going to lie. But let's separate the excuses from what your schedule actually allows. Because some people, their schedule actually doesn't allow them to combine the windows of stress. So this is what I mean. When you work out, let's break it down into the simplest form. When you train, you are breaking down your body. You are breaking down your tendons, your muscles, your central nervous system, all the tissues of the body. You are breaking down the body. And then you must go and rest and recover and eat and sleep, etc. Combining windows of stress means that instead of training in the morning and then training in the evening, that is 2 separate windows of stress. Now, if they stress different things, like if it is a different localized region of the body, so say lower body in the morning, upper body in the evening, it's a little bit easier. But let's say you do a skill session in the morning and you do a leg workout or a lower body workout in the evening. You are breaking down your tendons, your muscles, and your central nervous system in the morning, lower body, localized fatigue, and then in the evening, you are doing the same thing, breaking your muscles down or breaking your tendons, your central nervous system. And the central nervous system is not limb specific. So mainly I'm talking about the tendons and the muscles in the lower body, both being broken down in these 2 separate windows of stress, where if we combine them, now it is one big window of stress. So same amount of stress, except now we weren't breaking it down. Oh, we recovered for 6 hours, broke it down again, recovered for 18 hours or whatever you have it. Now it is we break it down at one time and we can recover for however many hours. I'm not going to go into the math. But essentially combining windows of stress, this can be a skill session in a workout. This could be a practice in a workout. This can be a game in a workout. This can be a skill session in a practice, but you are going to want to, mainly it is a sport specific session and a training session that you're combining. But you are going to want to combine your windows of stress. Why? It leaves more time for rest and recovery. And this goes for days as well. As PGF Performance says, keep your high days high and your low days low. High intensity days and low intensity days, especially during season. That should have been one of these commandments, but it's not. Tip number 7 or commandment number 7. Make sure that you do, this one you don't have to do. You do not have to do this one. But if you want to do any higher volume work, higher volume hypertrophy, higher volume strength work, then you should do that at a time that you are left with a longer break before your games. So you want to be as fresh as possible for your games. Let's say that you have a game Tuesday and Friday. That's often when my high school team has games. Tuesday we had a game. So Wednesday, if you wanted to do higher volume hypertrophy and strength work, would be a good time to do that the day after a game so that you have all day Thursday to rest, and then all day Friday up until that game to rest. Obviously, you don't want to do it the day before a game. Obviously, you don't want to do it the day of a game before, but if you did it the day of a game after, that might be okay. You just have to be careful that you're not doing, too much knee dominant or high intensity plyos when you're fatigued. Post chain work I'm all over the place with this video, but hopefully this is beneficial for you. Post chain work is a little bit better for you to do directly after a game. So it's much easier to go and play in a basketball game and then go and do, 3 sets of 20 hyper extensions than it is to play in a basketball game and then go do some depth jumps and jump as high as you can, unless you find that you aren't fatigued from that game, and especially if you don't get any minutes, and you can give max intensity on those plyos. All right, I'm really all over the place, so I'm gonna try to bring it back. Number 6, combine your windows of stress. Number 7, high volume hypertrophy work or strength work. At the end of a game, the day after or after a game, so that you have the most amount of time to recover before your next game. So when you have longer breaks, you can do this. Let's say you have 5 days in between a game. Go ahead and do some hypertrophy work or some higher volume work. If you're on Christmas break, go ahead and do some higher volume or hypertrophy work, because we're mainly not going to be doing higher volume work because of all the basketball that we're playing, because of all the games that we have. So whenever you can find time to do higher volume work with longer breaks before your next game, I would go ahead and try to add that in. Number 8, I fucking hate this chair, bro. Deload days if needed. Take deloads if you need to take a deload. So be intuitive about your training. Don't just say okay, I need to do 2 to 3 high intensity, low volume workouts, lower body workouts per week. If you're fatigued, then you're better off taking a deload day. It's better off for you to recover, right? And do some lower intensity work on that day than it is to just be tired and work through it while you are tired and fatigued. So number 8 is be intuitive, take a deload day, take a rest day if needed. Commandment number 9 of in-season bounce: consume a lot of calories, right? If you are in season, you're a high school athlete, college athlete, pro athlete, you need to be consuming more calories than you do in the off season, right? Because off season you are training more, but in season you have a way higher demand of activity. It's way more volume. It's different than training. It's different than strength training, but it's more calories are going to be needed from that type of activity that you are doing, especially if it is basketball that you're playing, which has a ton of endurance demands that are needed. So consume a lot of calories. I would say 0.85 up to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Fats, you don't have to track your macros, right? You can just eat intuitively, whole foods, proteins, fats, and carbs with every meal, and just try to eat a little bit more. But if you are going to track, some people go wrong where they eat too many fats. Some people go wrong where they eat too little fats. So one athlete that I train online, he sent me his macros and he had eaten 20 fats that day, right? For a male, you need at least 50 to 60 grams of fat for proper hormone function, just for everything to run smooth, right? Growth hormone, testosterone, etc. So make sure that you're getting 0.85 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and then 50 to 60 fats at least. If you're a high school athlete, if you're super active, you can get way more than that, right? You can be up to 150 grams of fat, and that's going to get you more calories. Fats are 9 grams of calorie, 9 calories per gram. Alcohol is 7. Carbs and protein is 4 calories per gram. So fats are going to be higher in calories just because of their nature. Man, you can't blame this on the cut on your tongue, bro. This video is becoming kind of shitty. Anyways, hopefully this is helpful. I'm going to keep going. Maybe I'm just critical of myself. I don't know. Maybe I suck. So consume a lot of calories, proteins, fats, and then carbohydrates are going to be huge for basketball players. Big for volleyball players too if you want to be explosive. But if you want to have high endurance and be explosive and have all of the energy demands from your sport and play well and play at your best, you're going to have to be eating a lot of carbohydrates. Not going to give you a number there. We could break it down, but it's going to be different for everybody. So just make sure that you are consuming a lot of calories because calories are going to be very, 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 very necessary for you to recover from all of the demands of your sport and your training. And then number 10 is take naps and get extra sleep wherever you can. I understand that not everybody can take a nap every single day. Sleep in class, right? English class, sleep. I'm just kidding. But not everyone can sleep every single day. For example, my athletes that are on my high school basketball team, they have to get to school by 7:15 or 7:30, and then they go all the way until 2:45. We have practice at 3, and then we're done at 5:30. Then they go home. By that time, if they were to take a nap, it's like they're probably going to wake up and their bedtime is going to be pushed back, which I don't really like. But if you can take a nap, especially on the weekend. Get some extra sleep on the weekends. Why? Because you're going to need some extra sleep for recovery purposes. Man, this video didn't turn out to what I wanted it to be, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. So yeah, I have a 4-month-old son. He sleeps all the time. Why? Because he's growing. You're going to need more sleep when you're growing, recovering, building your body. So that is it for this video. These are the 10 commandments of in-season bounce. Take these, increase your bounce in season, or you could get my in-season vertical jump program. I have a program Beyond the Rim in season. That's what it's called. So I'll link that down below in the description of this video and the pinned comment. But otherwise, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll try to do a better job at explaining things tomorrow, which I'm going to give you a full workout tomorrow on in-season bounce, full week of workouts. Anyways, I'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.